So welcome back to The Gist. We are joined by photographer Kristyn Brown, who is the creator of the Saints Project, Modern Portrayals of Catholic Saints. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So first, tell us about this project and what process is involved in making these works of art.
I guess on a technical level, I kind of came up with a little bit of a formula at this point where I've tried to find someone who either has a quality that reminds me of a saint or the other way around. A saint's on my mind, and I'll try to find a person who either meets that like physical look or something about them just is reminiscent of the saint's qualities to me. And then I'll plan the shoot out. I'll find out where they were from, what year they lived, and just start building a set around that. Take their portrait and then edit in Photoshop to kind of make it look more like a piece of art.
Now, are some of these people that you know? And tell us about Mary, because she's absolutely beautiful in the different pictures, especially the one that I love is the Solemnity of Mary. Mm-hmm. That's such a gorgeous, gorgeous shot.
Oh, thank you. A lot of the people I do know or come in contact with somehow, but with Mary she was a special one. Her name is Maria Cahill. Well, she's married now, Maria Henry. And I found her on YouTube. A friend of mine sent me a link to a talk that she had done, a pro-life talk. And when I was watching it, I just thought to myself, you know, if Mary looked like someone, it would be her. Yeah. She just shared features that I had seen of other portrayals of Mary. And so after sitting on the idea for like 3 or 4 months, I finally got the courage to reach out to her and ask her if she would be interested, and she said yes.
I mean, that picture in particular is just so beautiful. What is it that led you to want to do this project?
I think it was a combination of things. I think that I had been learning a lot of different technical skills over the past, before this was 2015 when I started it, but over the course of a few years before that, and having a really, really deep desire to combine my faith with my passion. And I really didn't know how to do that. And so there was kind of a light bulb moment that went off. It's like, I don't think anybody's ever done this as far as like a modern, like photography sort of thing. And so I started, and I just kept going with it.
And I think it's a really great way to educate people too on the saints, because sometimes, like, you know, that picture will just capture their attention, and then they'll want to look up more information about them as well. So it's a great way to evangelize, obviously, and you're doing such a beautiful job at that. But you mentioned 2015. In 2015, you kind of got a big gig. Tell us about that.
Yeah, a little bigger than I was ready for. It was the World Meeting of Families when we hosted it here in Philly.
Which the Pope came to, right? The Pope was
he
there.
Was there.
Yeah, just, you know, little small detail.
Yeah, a tiny little thing. Yeah, I had shot, I think, 2 or 3 pictures as, you know, just started. I really didn't know what I was doing. I really was very new to the whole, like, concept and project. And, yeah, they asked me if I could make 8 banners, 8 gigantic 8-foot banners of all different versions of Mary. And I said, well, I guess I'll do my best.
And so is there a particular picture that you've done, a particular saint that is special to you?
I guess I kind of feel like they all are in a lot of ways, because I feel like I form friendships with these saints as I go along and learn about them, and, you know, hope to honor them in some way with, you know, my creativity. And then also it just feels like a really deep prayer. There was one I did recently, St. Peregrine, though, who was very specific to me because a friend of mine had just been diagnosed with cancer, and it was a really rare form of cancer. And so that came from real deep down for me, you know, to make that saint that was like an offering. So that one was special.
And you have a background, obviously, in photography. You were not depicting saints prior to doing this. Tell us about some of your professional experience.
Well, I lived in Los Angeles for 6 years, and if you live in LA or ever visit, you realize that there's a lot of actors out there and people who want their picture taken. And so I ended up doing a lot of headshots and some product photography and models and bands and live stuff. And so I got a lot of experience just with my camera and trying to figure out different situations. And but none of it was really totally satisfying me. I always felt like there was something else that I wanted to be doing that was deeper and a little bit more meaningful. And then when I started the Saints Project, that was definitely what it was.
And what's some of the feedback that you've gotten from people?
I mean, the people who respond, I have a really positive response to it. A lot of people really appreciate them. I don't know people who don't like it. They never tell me, so I wouldn't.
Well, I
really...
like it, so you got my response. But it must be really exciting for them to see that and to share that with you.
Yeah, there was one woman in particular who I think she had lost her daughter. And the image of the child Mary was really had a really deep impact on her. And so that I remember that stuff, and that means a lot to me, you know, that it can affect other people that way. It's really special.
Well, God is using you in a mighty way, and a picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say, and you're doing such a beautiful job. And I have to say, congratulations. I know you're a mom, you've got 2 kids, and you've got a baby on the way, so you have a lot of things going on, and we'll be praying for you here from the Gist. Kristyn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.